You're listening to the Murder Speaks podcast, the show that spills the tea about true crime. Here's your host, Wendy Hinbest.
Hey, welcome back to Murder Speaks with your host, Wendy.
And your co-host, Brent.
Yep, so just like before, my husband is not going to know anything about the case.
My job here is to just listen along with you guys and ask questions and try to understand the case better and ask the kind of questions that you would probably be asking if you're listening along.
Exactly. So let's just get into it. So today's real crime story is about Christy Blankenship of Baker City, Oregon. She was born October 19th, 1971, in Florence, Oregon, to John Leon Lott, Sr. and Kathy Mary Birch Lott. She was raised in Springfield, Oregon, with her two brothers, Brian and John. She was a mother of four. She was known for her warm and joyful demeanor, and she was outgoing and sometimes goofy. She was a wonderful mother. She would do anything for her children. She enjoyed camping, fishing, gardening, and loved spending time with her family. Her husband, Kevin, was happy and funny when he was sober.
Oh.
And he could be charming. He would buy her flowers and take her out for dinner. Christy's father was an alcoholic.
Okay, that fits the pattern. Like a lot of times, people that are children of alcoholics will marry alcoholics. It's kind of like a trauma pattern almost.
Yes, exactly. He was an alcoholic. There was a lot of fighting in her household, but that's what she was used to.
But sorry, the fighting, like growing up as a kid, there was a lot of fighting in her house when she was growing up.
With her parents. Her parents would fight a lot.
And then are you saying that she was also fighting a lot with her husband?
I'll get there.
Okay.
But Christy there was a lot of fighting in her household. Her parents fought a lot.
Right.
And she was 17 when she dropped out of high school.
Oh, okay.
She discovered she was pregnant.
Okay, makes sense. Before we get into the episode, let's just take a quick second to just remind you about our store.
Crystal Kiss.
Crystal Kiss. We got lots of true crime merch on there. You can go on there, look for your T-shirts,
Hoodies.
crop tops,
Joggers.
I think we got some hats on there too. So go ahead, check it out, and support the show, and find something that can help you to express your own interest in true crime.
Exactly. We have so many designs. And just so you know, we do have a discount code, Murder15. That's Murder15.
Ooh, is that for a 15% discount?
You got it, 15%. And people in the U.S., you get free shipping on everything in the store.
There you go. The price is the price.
Exactly. So check it out, crystalkiss.com. That's Crystal with a K. Okay, we'll get back to our show. Now, Christina met a guy named Glenn, and he knew she was pregnant. But he fell in love with her anyway.
Okay, so Glenn's not the father of at least her first kid anyway.
No, he's not.
Okay.
He's not, but he fell in love with her anyway, and they became a couple. Christy gave birth to Aaron, and 2 years later, she and Glenn had their own child, a son named Eric.
Okay, Glenn and Eric.
Christy went to Springfield College of Beauty and became a full-time hairstylist. But by 1996, unfortunately, they started having marriage problems and decided to get a divorce.
Oh, okay.
They had 6 happy years together.
So so she had her first kid with somebody else, and then she had one kid with him?
Yes.
And then they got divorced?
And then they got divorced, sadly, yes.
Okay, at this point, all right.
Okay. 2 years later, Christy reconnected with her high school crush, Kevin Blankenship.
Was he the father of her first kid?
No.
Oh, boy, okay.
They grew up together and used to live across the street from each other.
Mm-hmm.
They started to date, and a year later, baby Brianna was born. So they weren't married at this point.
Right.
Okay? And soon after, baby Skylar joined the family. So they had 2 girls together.
Right. Hence the 4 kids.
Yes, exactly. Now, by the time Brianna was 3 weeks old, Christy was covered in bruises.
Oh, not good.
The children noticed Christy's and Kevin's relationship became toxic, especially her 13-year-old son, Eric.
Yeah, probably the oldest one, yeah.
One day, Kevin was aggressive with Christy, and Eric got in the middle, trying to protect his mom.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So Christy called his dad, Glenn, and told him that Eric needed to stay with him for a while. So Eric stayed with his dad for a couple of weeks.
So her new boyfriend was being physically violent with her, and when her son tried to interrupt it, she just sent him somewhere else?
She was afraid that maybe he was going to hurt her son.
What about her?
So
what about her other kids? Okay.
She just didn't want him there because maybe because he was sticking up for his mom and they were fighting, and she was afraid that Kevin would eventually do something bad to Eric. So she sent Eric to live with his dad, his biological father.
Because if you have a violent significant other, what you do is move your kids, not the violent significant other.
No, she didn't move the significant other. She moved the child.
I know, I'm saying she moved the kid out of the house, but what she should have been doing is moving that guy out of the house. Like breaking up with that guy and getting
but sometimes
it's
not that easy, right? Especially when you're being abused.
Yeah.
So Eric stayed with his dad for a couple of weeks. Kevin was beating Christy. Her back and ribs were black and blue. Her family was going to take pictures and call the police. But the next morning, Kevin showed up. He said he was never going to drink again. He begged Christy to take him back, and he was going to change and everything would be okay. So she went back to him. She decided to marry him.
This kind of stuff always baffles me. I know there's probably some psychological component to all this stuff, but I'll never understand.
Yeah, she decided to marry him. I'm not sure why she would marry him either. Like...
People do things.
Yeah. So Christy was a hairdresser. She had lots of clients. And she was the breadwinner of the family. Kevin didn't work.
So this guy, oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, a real winner.
So he's violent, he doesn't work, and she's marrying him.
Yes.
Okay. And he's
I
an alcoholic.
don't understand the appeal, but anyways. Christy put money away in her drawer to pay the bills. And one day, she was going to do the grocery shopping, and the money was gone.
Surprise, surprise.
Kevin started drinking again. One day, he was drunk and on a rampage. He busted up the futon in the living room, put a lawn chair through the window, and he broke a lamp.
Yep.
So the manager showed up. They were living in some type of government housing at the time. Okay. So the manager showed up. Christy's aunt was just down the street, so she walked over to the house.
She must have called her then.
They ended up losing their housing.
Yeah.
In 2005, Christy inherited her mother's house in Baker City, Oregon. Eric continued to live with his dad because he wasn't comfortable living with his mom because of Kevin.
Yep. Oh, man. What a mess. I mean...
It's a real mess, and I feel horrible that the kids had to be put through that situation.
I was just moving into her parents' house, and this guy's probably just going to destroy this house, too. And well.
When Skylar was little, her dad, Kevin, tried to get her to say the word hell.
What?
But she didn't want to say it. Yeah, apparently that's what he did, and he didn't want to say it because she felt it was a bad word. So Kevin got angry with her.
Oh, my God.
And held her down and put a knife to her arm. Yeah, sick bastard. When Danielle was about 10 years old and it was her birthday, she didn't ask for anything. She didn't want any presents. The only thing she asked for was for her dad to be sober.
Right.
But he didn't. One day when Kevin beat Christy up really bad, her aunt took her to a place for women going through domestic violence.
Yeah, like I don't know what they call it nowadays, but I know they call it a battered woman shelter. There's probably that's probably considered offensive now. There's probably a more correct term for it. I guess we'll just call it a women's shelter.
I guess.
Yeah.
They were planning on filing a restraining order. Well, Kevin got in his car and followed them. Kevin was arrested and charged with assault, and he had to enroll in domestic violence classes.
Okay.
He pleaded guilty to assaulting Christy. And in May 2010, he was given a 180 suspended sentence and 18 months probation.
So 180-day suspended sentence.
Yes.
So 6 months suspended sentence and a 6-month probation?
So, yes. So
Okay.
180 day, that's 6 months, right?
Roughly.
Yeah. And 18 month probation.
Oh, 18 months. Okay.
Yeah. He was ordered to have no contact with Christy.
Right.
Wow. Christy.
That's just a piece of paper. Like,
exactly. That's exactly where I'm going.
Yeah.
Piece of paper. So.
I mean, the piece of paper has a purpose because, like, if the person isn't following it, you can call the police. So, like, you know, normally if somebody's like, you know, say there's somebody that's around you, around your house, and you don't want them there, the police can't really do too much if the person's not breaking the law. But the order gives the police the ability to move that person, but it still doesn't really do much. Like,
it doesn't do much for keeping them away from each other.
It's
just piece of paper.
Doesn't do anything to keep you safe, really.
Exactly. So he was ordered to have no contact with Christy, but of course, Christy's aunt went over there, and there he was. Mm. He didn't care about the restraining order. Christy didn't even love him anymore, but she couldn't leave him because she was afraid he would find her and kill her.
Right.
It was Skylar's 9th birthday, and they had a birthday party for her. Christy was trying to keep it together for Skylar's sake.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
At the end of the night, Christy and Kevin got into a fight.
Surprise, surprise.
And Kevin started beating her.
Yep.
Their daughters, Skylar and Danielle, went to their room like usual, and they can hear Kevin beating their mom.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that situation.
Can't imagine this. I mean, like, there's stress. I mean, everybody goes through stress. But I can't imagine the stress. The stress that she's going through, obviously, but then also the stress of the kids, like knowing that your dad's like beating the hell out of your mom.
I
like,
could not imagine that situation. It's crazy. So one day when Skylar was in school, she had to write about what scared her. And one of the things that she wrote down was her dad.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. That's sad that she even had to even write that down. That's crazy. The teacher wanted to talk to her, but she was afraid to say anything.
Skylar was afraid to?
She was afraid to say anything, yeah. Christy's son felt that Christy stayed with Kevin because she wanted her kids to have stability.
Which they weren't getting anyways.
They weren't getting that anyway, exactly. But this goes back to what I said earlier, that when Christy was a kid, her parents fought and there was abuse.
Yeah, so for her, this is normal.
So she had to grow up seeing that. Yeah, so for her, it was normal. Her parents were together until her father passed away. So she might have felt that it was okay to stay in this situation, right?
Yeah.
In August, they all went camping, and they had a blast until Kevin got drunk. Yet again. The kids started yelling.
Dad's choking Mom to death in the outhouse.
There were marks across her neck.
Yeah.
She finally decided to get a divorce. That week, Christy started the paperwork for her divorce from Kevin. But first, she wanted to attend her son Aaron's wedding. But Kevin showed up. So Christy ran to the restroom, and Kevin chased her. At the wedding, at her son's wedding.
At the venue.
At the venue, her husband, Kevin, showed up, and then she ran away to the restroom, and he chased after her. Her aunt went to the restroom with her because Christy was crying.
Yeah.
Then her aunt left to take her baby home, and that was the last time she saw Christy. August 25th.
Okay, wait, sorry. So the aunt took, you said the baby?
Well, her aunt followed her to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then after, I guess she helped, I guess she was crying and stuff, but then she had to leave and take her own baby home.
The aunt had to take her own baby home.
Yeah, her child.
Oh,
her
I
baby
thought you meant Christy's baby. Okay.
Yeah.
So the aunt had to take her, and then so Christy's at the venue now, not really by herself, but she's there. She's in the bathroom.
Yeah, and that was the last time that her aunt saw her.
Right.
911 was called.
That was the last time she saw Christy. Okay.
Okay, so we're going to take a short break. I'll grab a refreshment, and we'll be right back.
Yep.
If you're looking for true crime merch with a great fit and feel, look no further. Crystal Kiss has a wide selection of clothes to brighten up your wardrobe. I like to wear clothes that make a fashion statement and says something about me. Like, our true crime and chocolate design describes me very well. I love chocolate and I love watching true crime, so they go hand in hand. Our hoodies are so soft and can be paired with one of our true crime joggers to make a super comfy outfit. Our true crime t-shirts fits true to size. For a night out, throw on a pair of heels and a crop top. Whatever you're doing, Crystal Kiss has you covered. You people in the U.S., get free shipping. You can also use discount code MURDER15, that's MURDER15, and save 15% off your entire order. Check out our wicked selection of true crime merch today at crystalkiss.com.
Okay. And we're back. So, to continue, that was the last time Christy's aunt saw her. Right, it's the last time her aunt saw her.
Yep,
Okay.
Christy's aunt saw her. And then, shortly after that, Kevin's brother called 911.
Dispatch, this is Mandy.
Hey, Mandy. Hey, my brother just called me from Baker City, and he called me all distraught and said something like his wife is dead or something.
He said his wife is dead?
Yeah, I think something crazy went down in Baker.
Okay, time out. He said his wife is dead? Is that what you said?
Yeah, he said some crazy stuff. I just want to make sure we can get him locked down and trying to figure this thing out.
Okay, is he drinking?
Oh, yeah.
So, the police showed up at Christy's place. Kevin walked outside, and they put handcuffs on him.
Right, okay.
The police officers asked him where Christy was, and he told them that she was inside. The police officers found Christy deceased.
Right. Okay, so in keeping with the brother, so the brother calls the police. So the police are going there knowing that she's probably deceased. So that's why they're handcuffing him and going into the house. And okay, so we're finding her body finally, obviously.
Okay. So the police interviewed Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
Nice to meet you, Jay.
Yeah, sorry to meet you under these circumstances.
Yeah, me too.
I gotta let you know that everything in this room is recorded.
That's fine.
Okay. And your date of birth, sir?
41569.
Oh, you're just a young pup.
I am. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. Listen, I read really slow, so you gotta bear with me.
Oh, you're fine. Not like you.
I appreciate that. So what kind of led up to this whole thing?
There was nothing going.
Mm-hmm.
That's...
It just happened?
No, I was cleaning my gun, and it went off. And then next thing I know, there's 5 cops around the house coming down on me with guns. I'm like, okay, I didn't do anything wrong.
I'll give you one thing. She died instantly. A personal question, I apologize for asking.
Go ahead.
You and Christy get along okay?
She's my best friend.
Any squabbling yesterday afternoon at all, Kevin? Or,
No, not at all.
because it's such a happy day.
Not at all.
Getting back to the accident, Kevin, when it went off, was the cleaning rod in the barrel?
No, I don't know how it happened. Matter of fact, I took it out and all of a sudden, like, bang! I'm like,
So, if I go over there, is the cleaning rod going to be just there in the living room by the futon?
that's in my bedroom.
So, did you take it back after?
Yeah.
Okay, so you take the cleaning rod back in the bedroom. Did you take it apart and put it back in the kit?
Yeah, it's all back.
In the
good.
kit?
Yep.
He had no emotion. And they knew he was lying about what happened.
It was beyond no emotion. Like, when you actually see his reaction, like, he's just kind of sitting there, he's almost kind of joking around with the cop, and he's recounting the story as if he's just recounting something he saw on a TV show. Like, you would think that after, whether you kill somebody on purpose or by accident, and in this case, it's pretty obvious it was on purpose, but even if it was by accident, like, you'd be so distraught and emotional, but he's just sitting there just recounting as if, like, he's like, oh yeah, and then the quarterback came out of the shotgun and threw the football down the field, and the guy caught it. Like, he's just recounting it so matter-of-factly as if he didn't just kill somebody.
Yeah, I know. It was odd.
Yeah.
It almost looked like he was a little bit intoxicated, too.
I
Like,
mean,
the way he was
probably
talking.
was a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, he was talking, like, the way he was talking slow and joking around with the cop, like he was a little bit intoxicated as well still.
Probably, but even still.
Okay.
Like, when people are drinking, they sometimes become even more emotional. Like
That's true,
His lack of any kind of, like, almost attachment to what happened is bizarre.
Exactly. He basically told the police that it was an accident. He was cleaning his rifle, and the rifle just went off.
Oh, for God's sake.
So they knew he was lying about what happened because they felt nobody cleans their gun at 10 p.m. And also, if it was an accident, the first thing he would have done was call 911 to get help.
Not taking the kit all apart and putting it away. What would be the importance of putting it away? Like, it's obvious that it was never out in the first place.
Exactly. So the scene was photographed. Based on the position of Christy's body, the police knew that Kevin lied about what happened. Kevin told the police that he and Christy were sitting on a futon bed and the gun accidentally went off and Christy slumped forward. Yeah.
This is the worst excuse of all time. First of all, why would you be cleaning a gun that is loaded with bullets, right? Like, it doesn't even make sense. And secondly, this is the most tired excuse of all time. I mean, I don't know if it's thousands, it probably is thousands, but, like, there's been so many cases of these that we've watched and heard and seen, whatever, where they always say the same tired excuse. That the gun, I was cleaning my gun and it just went off. Or I was holding my gun and it just went off. Like, as if guns just randomly go off all the time.
Yeah, we've heard that excuse so many times in different shows that we've watched.
It's a pathetic excuse.
But, I mean, the police knew that they were lying because, first of all, nobody cleans their gun at 10 o'clock at night. And also, if it was an accident, the first thing he would have done was call 911. He wouldn't have taken the cleaning rod away and put it away. He would have called the police right away and reported it as an accident, right? But he didn't do that, right?
The nice thing here for the police is, like, they've got the admission. He admits to having the gun. He admits to having shot her, says it was an accident. But he admits, so now they know, like, there's no, like, trying to figure out what happened and who did it. Now, all they have to do is just do the very easy task of just proving that this jerk wasn't actually cleaning his gun. Like,
And that it wasn't an accident, yeah.
Come on.
But Christy was turned completely away from Kevin.
I mean, imagine all the ridiculously of this story. Imagine, okay, first of all, you're cleaning your gun at 10 o'clock at night after a wedding. Makes no sense. And secondly, your wife, right? Or girlfriend?
At this point, they were married.
Married, okay. So your wife is just sitting there beside you at the dangerous side of the gun while you're just cleaning the gun. And she's just sitting there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the whole story it's farcical. It's so ridiculous.
Yes, I agree. After examining Christy's body, it looked like a cold-blooded execution.
Yeah, probably shot her in the back.
During the forensics examination, they found the cleaning kit under the bed and it had not been used.
Mm-hmm.
The detectives began to search Kevin's vehicle. There was a rifle in there and a change of clothes.
Okay, so coming back to that, so this is the rifle that he shot her with.
Yes.
So according to his story, then he is cleaning the rifle, accidentally, quote unquote, shoots her, then in bizarre human behavior, let's just say, he takes the kit apart, puts it all back together, puts it back under his bed, walks outside, puts the rifle into the truck, and then goes and sits inside. At this point, he never even calls 911, right? Like he calls his brother and confesses to killing her.
Yes.
And then after that, still doesn't call 911. His brother calls 911. The police show up at the house because of the 911 call from the brother.
Yes.
So he's never called 911 in this whole situation.
No, exactly. He claimed to be it was an accident. Yeah. They found notes that Kevin wrote saying how sorry he was and that he was going to make it up to her. And they found divorce papers in the burning barrel outside of the house. So that proved they were having issues.
Actually, you know what? So he's actually he's burning the divorce papers because he's trying to cover up evidence. He's trying to make it seem like, oh, we've never had problems. She didn't serve me with divorce papers. Like in his drunken, twisted mind, he thinks if I burn the papers, they'll never know. As if the lawyer that issued the papers doesn't know that he did it and doesn't have backup
Exactly.
of it. As if those papers haven't been filed with a court. Like, this guy is a drunken moron that thinks that if he just rips up a piece of paper, it never existed and nobody knows about it but him.
Exactly.
Jeez, what a moron.
It's been 8 hours since Kevin's initial interview, and he was held at the police station for more questioning. The police kept asking him what happened, and he kept saying they never fought, and she was his best friend.
Not only that they didn't fight that night, but he's saying that they never fought at all.
That's what he's saying. We never fought because she was my best friend.
Oh my God, this guy is building the case for them because like they've got all this evidence, like mountains of evidence of all the things in the past. Every lie he tells is just more damning, especially if he winds up going to a jury. I'd be amazed if he even goes to jury. In this case, the lawyer will probably convince him to plead guilty, despite the mountains of evidence from all the people around, the lawyers involved in the cases, the judge that issued the protective order.
Family.
The family talking about all the different physical abuse. His brother that he called and confessed to that called 911. But yeah, no, they've never had a problem.
Exactly. And he said he didn't know anything about the divorce. Yeah, okay.
We're not laughing at the case. We're just laughing at how like ridiculous the story that this guy is telling is. It's so completely idiotic.
Exactly. No, we'd never laugh about something this serious. We're not laughing about the fact that he killed her or anything like that. We're laughing at the fact that his story is so ridiculous that he thought that people would actually believe him.
For 1 second. Like, unbelievable.
Exactly. He was arrested for the murder of Christy Blankenship.
Right.
The police interviewed those close to Christy. Many of them reported that Kevin was abusive towards Christy.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that they've got the court documents when the judge issued effectively a restraining order.
Exactly. The police discovered that in 2004, Christy filed a stalking report and a restraining order against Kevin, but later withdrew them and the charges were dropped.
Right. Yeah, you hear about that stuff all the time.
I know. The police believe that when they got home, they had an argument, and Kevin shot her from behind in the head and killed her.
Yeah.
Kevin's brother testified that Kevin called him after he shot Christy and confessed to the crime.
Kevin's brother?
Yes.
Okay.
He was angry that Christy was going to divorce him, so he shot her. But we already knew that.
Yeah. But all this is just the evidence for the police, because, I mean, for the police and the prosecutors, now you need to build a case. It's not just a matter of looking at something and knowing what happened. Like, you have to build that case. So just like all that information, it just destroys his story.
Exactly.
So like when they go to court, I guess at this point, the police are simply trying to find a way to prove, like, because you got, if let's say you shoot somebody and they know you did it, the 3 potential charges are probably going to be like manslaughter, second-degree murder, and first-degree murder. And Kevin, by trying to say that the gun went off, is trying to make it sound like a manslaughter at best thing. And then the police now, they just need this evidence so they can prove, like, no, it was actually first-degree murder. Like,
yeah, exactly. His defense team argued that he was suffering from delusions and wasn't mentally fit to stand trial.
As an alcoholic, I could believe that he was suffering some type of delusions, but the difference, like, when you're talking about, I think they're trying to aim towards, like, criminally insane.
Yeah,
but, like,
no.
The criminally insane, you have to be, like, out of control. Like, you have to, like, you have to be so out of your mind that you're not really aware of what you're doing or the consequences of it. And that's not the case. This guy always does this. It's something he does over and over again.
Exactly. The court ordered a psychological evaluation, but the findings revealed that Kevin was deemed fit to stand trial.
Yeah, of course.
After learning that his brother was going to testify against him, he entered a guilty plea.
Right, because the brother was going to say that he
called and confessed, exactly.
Told him the confession, so.
He was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 25 years. At sentencing, Christy's aunt, Carol, read a victim impact statement.
Christy was a beautiful and bright and loving woman. Every minute of the day, I think of her. Her children were her life. She was a wonderful mother, a wonderful niece, a wonderful daughter and a friend. Her friends all did love her and care about her. She has left a void for all her family and friends that can never be replaced. I'll end this by saying we lost a beautiful soul, a spirit with the most contagious smile to ever grace our presence.
In January 2011, he was admitted to the Eastern Oregon Correctional Institution in Pendleton, Oregon, where he continues to serve his sentence.
Yeah, it's a prick. Garbage.
Yeah, he's a garbage person, exactly.
When you're in these relationships, like, people are always talking about red flags, like looking for red flags, and I'm not going to victim blame. Christy comes from a traumatic background, and I know that people that come from traumatic backgrounds, there's a psychological component to this stuff that makes it difficult to leave situations and stuff like that. But you really got to try to, like, watch for those red flags. It's like the guy that gets drunk and then his personality changes, and again, obviously there's an escalation here of, like, him drinking, and it probably starts off with, like, verbal abuse, and then psychological abuse turns into physical abuse. It's almost like you're testing, like, seeing how far you can go and if the person stays, and it just keeps on getting more and more violent, and oftentimes it winds up in murder because it just goes on and on. But, like, you gotta watch, like, those are the kinds of red flags you gotta watch out for, and they to a person, I guess, that it doesn't have Christy's background, it might seem more obvious, like, oh, this person's mentally unstable, I got to get them out of my life. And, the myriad of other reasons, like, he doesn't work, he's not able to hold down a full-time job. I don't even know if this guy ever even tried to get a job, but, it's like there's so many red flags you should be watching out for in situations like this, and knowing, like, I got to get away. Although in her situation, I don't know if that would have even done any good.
No, because he was coming after her. Like,
he was controlling
her. Yeah.
Like, there wasn't really a lot of information in there about whether he was controlling. I don't know if some of the victims had given statements to the police about that. But in this case, you can almost guarantee it's like this guy feels like a sense of ownership. So, like, even when they first started dating, even if he'd left her, or she'd left him early on, don't know, like, he may have reacted violently to that and killed her then too. But yeah, it's like, you just gotta watch out for these kind of guys, and just get the hell away from them as fast as possible. And
well, she said that she wanted.
It's so sad.
She said she wanted to leave him, but she was afraid he would find her and kill her.
Yeah,
so
she did,
which he ended up doing, unfortunately.
And the justice system can't do anything about it. Like, all they can do is issue pieces of paper saying "stay away," and
exactly,
it doesn't do anything.
Exactly. For everyone out there who knew Christy Blankenship, we're very sorry for your loss.
Yeah, this is horrible.
Yeah, we mean no disrespect. We're just basically retelling the story.
Just recounting the facts, yeah.
Exactly, and all of my sources will be in the show notes. Hey, so thank you for joining us on another episode of Murder Speaks. And don't forget to check out our store, crystalkiss.com.
Yep, for sure. Big time. Check that out. And also check out our Patreon. We'll be dropping our second episode a week. So one episode a week goes up on our podcast and also up on our YouTube channel. And then a second episode up on Patreon. So you can check that out for a little bit of extra content.
Exactly. And the Patreon link will be in the show notes as well. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye.